warden pulled out blind last night and gave us these 2 chairs. He came over in his truck and said he felt sorry for us. I mean, obviously we did have chairs, but thought it was very decent of him. Right, so day 3, and it is going to be a scorcher. Predicting about 34 today. It certainly bloody feels like that already. Just got to get rid of my rubbish. Oh, so knackered. Why did we do this? Yeah, so we got exactly what I expected here, Dobbsweir campsite. It was right on the alignment of the route, and we looked and looked for another site, but we just couldn't find anything. And but it was exactly what I hoped it wouldn't be, which was noisy, stunk of weed all night, toilets were in a right mess. Yeah, pub across the road was in a state as well, which didn't help matters, but we did eventually get a good night's kip. Yeah, so we've got about 130 miles today. Hopefully lots of tree-lined lanes. Well, I know there is, because a lot of it I've done before. Yeah, so some nice, cool tree-lined... Oh, that is good to get that breeze through your jacket already this morning. It's freaking warm. Yeah, anyway, lots of tree-lined lanes, and should be nice, quite smooth flowing sort of things. And so we're making our way, obviously, east for the final leg, over towards Woodbridge, to the final destination, which is a beach called Shingle Street, which is just the other side of Woodbridge. Yeah, so looking forward to it. Quick recap on yesterday. Yesterday was absolutely brilliant. Very flowy, very... there's a fair bit of road, but it was through the wood sections. It was all just nice and flowy and fun, and nothing massively technical. A few cheeky little rocky climbs, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a good day after the first day, just to have no issues and do all the mileage quite easily. Yeah, I was very, very appreciative of that. Yeah, I did think about doing something fairly obvious for this bank holiday, like, you know, a bit of Tet or something. Keep saying I'm going to go and do Yorkshire, but my wife wants to go up there with a motorhome. Well, we've talked about it, so it's a possibility. So I thought, well, let's do something different then. Let's whack something together that is a bit different. Is this it here? Yeah, that's it there, look. You what, mate?
More ones showing down there as well.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, so I did think, well, let's put something together that's a bit different. Not using... I think we went on the Tet a little bit at one point. Obviously, we're in Essex now, so there's no Tet this way. Yeah, so if you're looking for something different. I mean, Sean, since he got his Norden, he's been doing loads of the Cornish Tet. I think he said he's done a little bit of Devon as well. Around to the right here. So I was explaining to him last night how to use the GRM and, you know, what that does, etc. So he's keen to explore some different lanes and some different routes. familiar, but we all love a fresh new lane, don't we? We've not done before. He was got a proper dust cloud there. Well, considering we've done this on a bank holiday weekend, we've hardly had any traffic because we've been just using the little back lanes all the time. They've just been like this. It's just been lovely and flowy and just an absolute pleasure. And I say this all the time when I'm in this part of Essex, you know, it's not the Essex you imagine or you think of a lot of the time. So beautiful, pretty little villages, quiet places. Yeah, you get horse riders and people walking their dogs and that. And even with the old knobblies on the bike, I've still enjoyed it. My bad, I got a bit excited. These lanes are just so much fun on a big bike. This well could be the Aussie bush on a day like today. A fellow bush dweller. Go on, squirrel. This goes on for days, this. That, sir, was bloody brilliant.
That's an awesome little lane, that one, isn't it?
I love something like that as much as anything else.
Those little, where you're just on the pegs, like that,
Yeah.
like the little chicane.
Weaving through the trees. Yeah, just had to do a bit of a mod there because my phone keeps bashing on my camera because I've started putting my camera up there and then I dropped my bloody phone and cracked the screen. Well, I think it's just the screensaver thing. Where are we? Straight down here. Right. Looks like another fast, flowy one. Yeah, a lot of these lanes today. I mean, I've done a fair few in Essex, but some of these I've not done before. Been brilliant. A bit more rutty, a bit more potholey. We've got our first Ford of the trip just down here. Only a little one, but hey, Ford's a Ford. Actually today I might stop and get in. So I've just come down the start of this lane, and I wasn't filming, but you literally go down someone's drive and down the side of their house, between the house and their garage, and it seems really random, but that's where the byway is. I'll put up a picture if I can get a street viewer grab, because if you're coming and doing the route, then you might think, what? Where the hell am I meant to go?
Well, you got the sunshine, it won't ever go down. Let's keep on riding, cause we're running this town. It's like sugar, leave you wanting some more. Do what you want now, cause we don't gotta keep score. And I can tell when lightning will strike, cause you're electric. I know if I ain't by your side.
So we ended up in Starbucks, just off the A120 near Braintree. Not a massive fan of Starbucks, but we were desperate for a coffee. So we're heading up towards Halstead now. Doing pretty well today. Just had a bit of a longish break, so yeah, probably puts us bang on schedule. My back end just felt really bad. Fucking hell. Let me just see if I can ride up there getting some shade. Right, gave myself a bit of commentator's curse there. And as soon as I said everything was going to plan schedule, then I realised I got a flat. And just spinning the tyre around, having a look, and look at that little bad boy there. Just come down one of those shitty Essex lanes. There's all sorts of crap. Yeah, that is well and truly in there. Big time commentator's curse, Michael. Right, definitely commentator's curse. So that's taken us about 40-50 minutes, including letting the patch go off. No punches and then 2 in one trip. I mean, what's that all about? Like buses, eh? Well, that's something we'll be chatting about and reminiscing over a beer later. All good fun. That old Marcus Aurelius thing, the impediment to action advances action. It's so true. You know, you only ever get good at something by doing it, by practicing it, repeating it. It's why the British Army's best army in the world is because we repeat what we do. And a simple thing like a puncture can cause a lot of drama if you're not really up to speed on what to do. So we're just coming into Sudbury now. I was going to stop at TTT Motorcycles, but we're going to crack on, obviously. Slightly behind schedule. And you never know what the next corner might bring. Just been a lot of this sort of stuff today. It's been absolutely mega. I mean, this bit I know really well because this is my home patch we're in now, but some of the lanes earlier in Essex, Hertfordshire, it's been pretty dreamy, really. What an absolute twat. Just can you tip my bike and I'll see if I can see a nail or anything. Ah, oh, so annoying. We are, oh, fat fingers. 29.5 miles away from the end. What an absolute drama. You know, that Marcus Aurelius quote is, it probably should be everyone's mantra that is, you know, doing this or wanting to do this whole adventure bike thing. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Yeah, it has certainly resonated on this trip, to say the least. But it is so true. So obviously things didn't quite go to plan on day 3. Yeah, if ever there was a case of commentator's curse, that was obviously it. Yeah, it was kind of obvious that the reason we'd got the other flat was because the patch hadn't set, so therefore I would have had to have, you know, fixed that, wait maybe even longer to let the patch go off and then carry on. But because of the time we'd lost already, it was absolutely scorchio day, and yeah, we just decided to call it a day. As it happened, when it happened, I was about 5 miles from home, so yeah, we just made a bolt for home and just took it on the chin, which was obviously uber disappointing, but there you go. That's, you know, adventurous riding for you. These things happen, things go wrong. So I've obviously just come out today just to show you that last bit. And actually finish the route, get to the end. Obviously, so if you're going to come and do it, then you know what to expect. Yeah, so just skirted around Ipswich, and I'm now, this is Woodbridge. Beautiful little town actually, Woodbridge, if you've not been here before. It's on the River Deben. It's got a great sort of waterfront. On the route, so I'll put up the map now and show you, there's a little bit that goes off to what's called Tide Mill, where there's normally a guy there selling coffee, but I'm not going to go there today. The plan was we were going to go and have coffee there on day 3, because once we got to the end, we were then going to turn around and go back to mine. So, because Northern Sean, lives in Cornwall, so there was no way he was going to ride all the way home, and we hadn't planned to camp at the end of day 3. We were going to go back to mine. Yeah, so it's a beautiful old town, Woodbridge. It's like a lot of sort of places in Suffolk, you know, lots of medieval buildings and, yeah, pretty little street scenes and all the rest of it. Who doesn't love a bit of fluffy sand, eh? Yeah, so I guess we best have a chat about some lessons learnt from this trip. Because after all, you know, that's why we watch a lot of these YouTubers, and, you know, ninjas like Lyndon Poskett and Adam Riemann is to learn from them, learn from what they've got to say. So let's start at the obvious place and talk about tyres. I mean, overall, I've been, you know, chuffed to bits with the tyre choice. Let me just stop here and I'll just quickly show you what I'm talking about. So, I have got the same tyres on that I used for the coast-to-coast trip up north, where me and Sean started in the lakes, ended in North Yorkshire. Yeah, so Michelin Tracker front. I mean, this must have done well over 2,000 miles now, and there is still plenty of life left in that. Yeah, it's worn down a bit, but plenty of life left in that. And then the rear, so that is the Pirelli MT21, so that's in a 140, and there's a bit left in that. What is there, 7 or 8 mil, something like that. So there's plenty of life left in that. So I did a vlog called The Puncture Plan, and I talked about what you're going to do if you get a puncture. Because standard adventure bike tyres are a twat to get off. Well, the rears are. In a 150 generally, they just they're obviously, most of them are made to be tubeless, so therefore they need to cling to the rim, otherwise they're not going to be much use as a tubeless tyre. So that's why I picked that MT21, because it was a 140, wasn't tubeless, a lot easier to get on and off the rim. Now this is obviously way more important if you're on your own, because if you're on your own you've got no one to help you. Because when you've got someone to help you, you can use their side stand to help break the bead. The biggest mistake I made was my spare, which I always keep, my rear inner tube spare, which I always keep under the seat, had perished and I hadn't replaced it. And so that was the big balls up. So there was my mistake. I should have put the spare, I should have replaced the inner tube. I did have a 21, but obviously I didn't want to ride the rest of the trip on a 21-inch inner tube in the rear. Jolly good of him. Yeah, so lesson learnt big time there. But other than that, the tyres were absolutely brilliant. Yeah, that Michelin tracker's terrible on the road. It doesn't want to turn into corners, but when you are off-road, I just have so much grip, so much confidence. Yeah, no complaints there. And then on day 3, when I had to ride home, because I punctured again, well, the patch came off again, another story. When I rode home for 5 miles on that tyre, and it was flat, and it did not come off the rim. So I know that's an issue people have, say, with a Michelin tracker rear on this bike, is that it easily comes off the rim. Well, that MT21 is not easily coming off the rim. In fact, on the Friday when I was trying to get it off on my own, it was tricky and I was cursing and swearing, but I eventually got there, and I was only carrying my normal 2 little tiny tie levers. Yeah, so tyres worked really, really well, and I would absolutely buy them again, use them again, those sorts of tyres. No issues whatsoever. So what else? So tent. Let's have a chat about tent. So I did ponder what tent shall I take, and then in the end I decided to take the One Tigris Tetra 160, which is my sort of TP tent style tent. And I deliberately bought that tent, or specifically bought that tent, for hot weather. And yeah, so the tent was perfect, was brilliant. It didn't particularly matter on the other days, because of, by the time we got to the campsite, it had started to cool down and it wasn't particularly hot in the evening. But certainly on the end of day 2, when we got to the campsite at Hoddesdon, I was grateful that I had a bit of shade, because with that Tetra you can create some shade. So that is obviously something worth thinking about. If you're going somewhere and it's going to be hot, and you get to a campsite that's kind of like just a big field, well then what are you going to do to keep in the shade? It's worth thinking about. Anyway, what about time? If I was going to do it again, yeah. So if you're planning a journey and you're giving yourself a little bit of time but not allowing for incidents, then obviously if you have an incident, it doesn't give you much time for error, as it were. On day 1 we had so many dramas, what with Sean and his clutch and that, that we lost a lot of time. So yeah, it is a tricky one to sort of assess really, but I think generally speaking 100 miles a day is if you're a reasonable rider, 100 miles a day is a sort of good benchmark, something to aim for. Anything more than that, and again, it just depends on you and your ability, but it could get tricky depending how things go, especially if you're looking to go and get ferries and what have you. So yeah, 100 miles a day. I mean, we did 125 comfortably on day 2, and we did have a few stops, you know, stop for ice cream and stop for sandwiches. We didn't particularly stop and have a look round anything, but if we'd seen something, we would have had the time to do it, because we actually got to the site quite early on day 2. Now obviously for us it was very, very warm, very hot, like 34 degrees I think it was, I can't remember. It seems such a long time ago, but it was warm, and you know, I had essentially kind of what I'm wearing today, more sort of motocross enduro orientated gear on, but I've got my body armour on underneath, and I've got my padded shorts on with armour in. So I have got armour, but it's not like one of these ones that are like the Nox ones or the Adventure Spec ones. But then the beauty of this sort of, I've got what's called a Liat, something stealth it's called. I'll put up a picture. And that is very cooling, lets a lot of air through. So I was fine, despite it being really warm. I was fine, you know, didn't really ever feel too hot. But I think if you were wearing an adventure type suit, which a lot of people do, then you would have proper been struggling. So it's worth looking at that, you know, going out on a hot day in all your gear and doing a tricky lane and see how you get on, because yeah, you might find that you're just way too warm and you're going to end up giving yourself a heat injury if you ride in hot weather in a sort of traditional style. I mean, especially the waterproof ones, they are, as we used to say in the army, boil in the bag type gear. You're just gonna roast and sweat your nuts off. So this pub here, Sorrel Horse, lovely pub, great food. It's obviously shut at the minute. And then just up the road, just round the corner, is a campsite. So this might be one of the places you could camp at the end of day 3 if you come and do this trip. The campsite's just down here. Yeah, so the campsite is there, look, Shottisham campsite. So Sorrel Horse is in the village of Shottisham, and there's one of the 2 campsites near the finish. Right, second campsite is just here, look. So this is called Rum Cottage. So that's a fabulous little campsite in there. They've also got those little pod things, so if you've not got a tent, then, and that's the sort of thing you're going to do, sort of B&Bs, yeah, you might want to go in there. So this is Hoseley, spelt Hollersley, but the locals call it Hoseley. So Rum Cottage is there, and then there's just a little village shop up here and pub. We're nearly at the scene now, at the beach, a place called Shingle Street. Yeah, I would say generally though, everything went really, really well. We did some lovely lanes. It is a great route. Really pleased with how it turned out. Just the one sort of really tricky lane, which obviously causes a bit of a drama. But apart from that, it was just glorious. Absolutely loved it. Now I did want this to be a sort of big bike route. It's not something I'd want to come and do on on my CRF. Yeah, so because there is a fair bit of road at times, but that helps you make the distance. And most of the roads, well, they were just lovely roads, you know. They were just kind of like this, just middle of nowhere, not a lot of cars. Fantastic. Yeah, so this is Shingle Street. It is a very, very popular place with photographers because it is a little bit odd, but it is strangely beautiful. Unsurprisingly, a shingle beach. There's no sand, but it is a gorgeous place. It's not a sort of kiss me quick place, you know. There's nothing here apart from a few houses, so it's not the sort of place you're going to come and find any slot machines. But it seemed a very, very appropriate place to end the journey, albeit 3 weeks after I kind of intended on doing. You can't actually ride onto the beach like we did at Weston-super-Mare. So I guess we've got to have a bit of a walk over and go and have a look. Me and Sean did say that at the end of day 3, because it was so warm, we'd go and have a dip, but yeah, not quite so warm today, so I'm not going to chuck myself in. Okay, so there you have it. 3 days of, well, drama, certainly, but a lot of fun. I would definitely do it again, would love to go back. Some of the guys in the TRF have sort of, you know, said, oh, they won't mind doing it. I certainly wouldn't mind doing it again. I wanted to put something together that, you know, wasn't the Tet, wasn't up north, was fairly simple, you know, not too complicated, not going to catch people out. Something that's, I wouldn't say it's totally beginner friendly. A couple of lanes are quite tricky, and some rutty lanes at times, but not many at all. Generally though, it's just, yeah, nice. So thanks for coming along for the journey. I hope you've enjoyed it. I mean, I absolutely have. Gutted we didn't complete it in 3 days, but there you go. Yeah, so I really enjoyed it. I hope you have too. Yeah, so we'll put some links to the route in the description, and I've created a little map as well, just to show the whole route as a one, so you can sort of see and plan. I'll also link the 2 campsites that we stopped at the one at the end of day 1 and the one at end of day 2. Obviously, if you've got any questions, ask me a question. Yeah, always happy to help. Just remember, you know, we've got to do our bit as trail riders. We've got to be grown up and we've got to be responsible. So before you use any GPX file that someone gives you, really, you should be checking it. It's one of the brilliant things about the TRF Green Road map. You can lay it on and then lay it over and see if it, you know, any of the lanes you're going down are closed, because the GRM shows you all the latest closures. Yeah, so do your bit, be responsible. We want to keep this trail riding thing going for a long time and not spoil it for others. So hopefully I'll see you back on the channel again soon for another adventure. If not, then maybe I'll see you out on the trail riding your bike. So from me, from Mike, from Suffolk Coast, I'll see you again soon.